Rats. They're filthy, disgusting things. They carry the bubonic plague, eat trash, and generally, people don't want them around. So what made all these people say this?
I'm crying over the Rats event comeback notification.
I've formed an emotional attachment to rats. I love them already, guys. I have such a big bitch. I have loved everything about rats. I love those little rats.
No, this isn't the result of some freak collective hysteria, depending on who you ask. This is about the Rats SMP, a Minecraft server. So how did the Rats SMP turn these little pests into something that a lot of us will cherish forever?
As a quick aside, an SMP in this context is a Minecraft server that content creators come onto to stream or make videos on. It stands for survival multiplayer, which I know makes no sense, but yay for the evolution of language.
A couple of years ago, my friend Owen joined a call and said, what if we played Minecraft, but we weren't just normally playing Minecraft, we were actually little rats in a big house?
Yes. And he just kind of went and did that. Like, he just went and worked on it for months and then it just appeared. Crazy, huh? This is my opinion as a long-time Minecraft player and professional content creator, technically, on what made Rats SMP so good. Think of it as like a love letter. Oh, but if you dare make anything constituting a copy of Rats SMP, you will be hunted down. The rats are already in the walls. They await my word.
A different perspective.
A Minecraft player is always 2 blocks tall. Rats SMP dared to ask, what if you were just half a block tall instead? Obviously doing this meant they had to adjust some things like how high and how far you could jump and also how far you could reach. Otherwise you'd just sort of be hopping around quarter of a block high. Wouldn't be any good. They also gave the rats the ability to climb up walls, which was very useful for
The house.
Player size wasn't the only thing that the makers of Rats SMP messed with. They made the whole world smaller. Typically in a Minecraft SMP, players are dropped into an infinitely generated world and asked politely, or rudely, please don't live too far away from each other. Sometimes there's also a physical world border to stop them from going too far.
The whole of Rats SMP takes place in the building and grounds of one house. Granted, it is a big house. Shout out old money. But it's a small map, and it's also entirely pre-built. But isn't bigger usually better? That's what you would think, but you'd be wrong. Doesn't feel good, does it? Being wrong. This small map had a great personality. It meant that if player A was online and player B was online, they would almost definitely see each other at some point. And with the best part of an SMP being interactions between players, this was perfect. Great job, Rats SMP. Another big part of Minecraft is the building. Your house, your farm, your 10,000 item per hour mega mob farm, your 1-to-1 replica of the United States. Building is a core part of the game. So how did Rats SMP handle that? You can't build in normal scale. I mean, imagine if you're just chilling in your living room and a 1x1 meter of wooden planks just appears on the floor out of nowhere. Instead, Rats SMP made use of the Chisel and Bits mod. This let us claw and bite our way through whatever we wanted in the house, then use those little bits to build tiny little homes that we all hid in the attic. I'll explain why later.
The mechanic of being little guys running around a big house and building little homes really scratched some little ratty itch in my brain. I spent hours just running around and jumping in and out tunnels. This brings me on to the next part of why I think Rats SMP was so great, and I'm going to call it
The Whimsy.
Look, a lot of you have probably watched Minecraft SMPs before. If you haven't, what is that like? Must be nice. A lot of servers try their best to make the viewers sad. Angst, tears, death, war, conflict. Oh, you like that character? Made a bit of fan art of them maybe? They're dead now. They've got a loved one? Guess what? That's just been ripped away from them brutally. Even the makers of Rats SMP had just finished another SMP called Outsiders, which was full of that.
In this sea of negativity, Rats SMP appealed to the fun, silly side of Minecraft. Think back to when you first started playing. I'm assuming that if you're watching this video, you probably have played Minecraft, but if you haven't, why not? Things were simple. When the fun to be had was just running around the plains biome and punching trees, life was good.
Most Rats SMP content was just that. Running around the house, jumping in and out of tunnels, doing daily quests, building little houses. It was a nice welcome break from the angst and sadness that you'd sometimes see on other servers. The silly little mechanics changes made it pretty fun to watch and play. It was just fun.
Saying that though, there was another part to Rats SMP that really didn't fit into that fun and silliness. The kind of part that made us look over our shoulder and run away in terror.
And now, a word from our sponsor.
Are you tired of putting your very valuable YouTube comments out into the world and nobody answers? Do you want to talk to your favourite creator, but it's like she can't even hear you? Look no further than Beckymon's Twitch channel. Enter your messages and I will actually read them. Participate live on new content. See my reactions in real time. Follow me at twitch.tv/Beckymon today and have your voice heard.
Disclaimer, answering a message is not guaranteed. Twitch.tv/Beckymon does not condone parasocial behaviour.
The humans.
The rats weren't alone, obviously. I mean, they're not paying the electricity bill, are they? A family of humans lived in the house, unknowing victims of a group of criminals that had decided to move in and exercise their squatters' rights.
I'm saying humans in quotes because these guys were actually NPCs. They were much bigger than a normal player, making the rats seem even smaller, and they had a very simple mindset. If they saw a rat, they would chase it down, either until the rat had managed to hide from it for a bit, or until they caught it. And when they caught it, it would go into a cage, and the other rats would have to race to set them free. Then the countdown would start. No worries, right? It's just a countdown. No, dear viewer. For if the rat had not been let out of the cage and the countdown reached 0, they die.
Okay, yeah, I know I did just say the server was all fun and whimsy, but no, let's be real, if there was no tension at all, it would be quite boring.
So while we were doing all of that frolicking around the house, we constantly had to look over our shoulder because these NPCs were silent and they would just teleport sometimes. They also added the janitor, who was played by an actual person, and that was a lot harder.
Oh yeah, 3 lives and you're out. Like, out, dead. Forever. So all that playtime we were doing, running around, actually felt like quite a risk. In fact, we had a channel in the Discord server called I Need Help, Please Help, where rats that were stuck in cages could tell the other rats to come online and let them out if they happened to be alone. This led to interactions like this.
Leppo, help. Yeah, got this. The gay rats have been caught. Thank you. Help, yelp, help, yelp, help, launching. On my way, darling. Help, yelp, helpy, help. Please. On the way. I gotta boot up though. Heart. Kissing you.
The nutshell.
Rats SMP can be boiled down into a very simple concept. The players are little rats running around a big house, building houses, and getting into mischief. Imagine you're a Minecraft fan, you're on Twitch, you're scrolling through, you're trying to find something new. You see streamers on a server that you don't recognize. Generally, if you watch about 30 seconds of Rats SMP, you'll get it. You'll understand what the concept is. This is so good for getting new viewers into an SMP. I was happy to explain the concept to anyone that was watching, but it really didn't take long as a viewer to know whether you thought Rats was epic or not epic.
There aren't a lot of server concepts out there that are able to do this, and it's a big reason why I think Rats SMP's fanbase is much bigger than the sum of its parts. A lot of the creators didn't come in bringing a massive audience, and lots of them grew due to Rats SMP's unique perspective on things. That perspective being, we're really bloody small, you get the idea? Like, we had a panel at TwitchCon, for God's sake. There's me there, I'm probably talking about being really wide, probably.
The love that went into every aspect of Rats SMP cannot be understated. The small team were working on cameos, events, quests, and pretending to be a squid or something all the time. I know that I and a lot of the other creators were in tears when Rats reached its planned finale a couple of months after it opened. If you ask me to this day, it's my favourite SMP I've been a part of, and if you look at Twitter on the Rats SMP hashtag, you'll see that I am not alone in it being very, very important to me. Actually, just recently, the powers that be made a Rats event, and it was ridiculous how quickly I slipped back into the rat mindset. I ended stream and just ate some cheese because I was just that immersed. I wanted to make this video not just to tell you guys how I think Rats is a great example of how an SMP should be run, but also just as a love letter to a project that is really, really dear to me. And now I have one more thing for you to do. Go on Twitter, tweet at PowCreations, use the Rats SMP hashtag, and beg for another season. Please, we're desperate. We're desperate, please just get us another season, please. All right, well that's it. Bye. And make sure you give the next rat you see a big hug and a kiss. That'll go fine.